I always end up saying apologies at the very beginning, but apologies if that one was a little unstructured and trying to summarize the contents of, again, the parts I saw with Jenna and Aaron. So I guess at the very beginning they cover that they are back together, they are not back. I don't care about that stuff. I really don't. So this will be mainly my reaction, and like I said, my main reaction, I was disgusted. And again, I'm trying to take both of them seriously just as humans, but and again, it's been going on for about a year now, but yeah, my faith in most things is collapsing. It's really collapsing. So let's get down to it. Well, okay, and let me try to preempt some questions. Well, why, if you think it's so bad and he's a criminal cult leader, which he is, why don't you call the FBI? Well, because you see, Bucky in the United States, the FBI, if you did call them, and by the way, I recommend don't calling them if you're going to waste their time. That they're not going to like that. They would ask a simple, short question. Well, what's your relationship to XYZ? And if you just say, well, oh, just he's a guy on the internet, and I think he's committing all these crimes, they're going to have a very short conversation with you and say, yeah, that is not a thing. Unless you can show us through your own testimony or through massive evidence that he is committing all these criminal activities, we got nowhere to go. So let me be blunt. If you did white through the Mike Rinder videos, which I did, he was alleging that, yes, Aaron committed all kinds of crimes. But the thing is, he's dead. Mike Rinder is dead. Again, no, we're not even going to get to Rinder's reputation or whatever. Just trying to keep it to the basics. So I think the best thing would be, because we really don't have any other option, is criminal prosecution. So the person who can do that would be, frankly, at this moment, Claire Headley. But I don't think Claire is wanting or willing to do that because clearly a lot of his former friends and allies just don't want to have anything to do with it. Just want to wall themselves off from this insanity. And I would say that is the right option. But really, because that's where we are, and that's what I found most alarming about this. Well, let's try to be generous. Something bad could happen with Jenna, and it will be her responsibility to call the authorities or not. Or she'll just be like, okay, crime was committed. I don't care. That's about it. That would also be very alarming, but that's where we are. Or I think what's more likely is, which we know is going to happen anyway. I mean, a miracle can happen, right? Look at Malcolm X. He had this incredible moment and reformed himself. And whether he led a good life or bad life, we're not debating, but he definitely radically changed. He definitely became, whatever we're going to call it, a man of God. I mean, we just have massive documentation that conversion he did was real. It was a real conversion experience. So maybe a miracle will happen, and Aaron will find the light and not be a total monster. But I don't see that happening. So inevitably, the relationship is going to break down again. And my own guesswork would be, and whatever the time period is, we're gonna see a video with Jenna, and invariably we're gonna see someone in the background and be like, "Hey, who's that?" Oh, it's like, "Oh, that's the new boyfriend." Yeah, her and Aaron broke up, and I'm like, "Wait, I thought they were together." Well, yeah, it didn't work out. So, I mean, the nicest interpretation is this is just a weird kind of low rent Hollywood couple going through what low rent Hollywood couples go through, and it's like it is of no concern unless you want to look at these pathological weirdo cases, and it's like, yeah, dive in, but there's nothing profound or interesting here. It's just, and listen, even before all the last couple months, I just never found their conversations uh, watchable, or I mean, they weren't insightful, they weren't helpful. A lot of it was like about relationships and advice and this or that, and I'm like, I really gained nothing from these, and supposedly like, oh, we're learning things about Scientology. Well, yeah, I'm gonna literally force myself to listen to some of this garbage. But really, what did we get from this? It's like, oh, stories of Jenna and Aaron remembering times of the Sea Org. Okay, but why does that matter? Why does that matter? And this is just a bigger delusion that anti-Scientology has been coping with. And I'll give Aaron this. He has done a service. He didn't intend to, but that for a long time there was this weird logical mix-up that people were in this delusion that, well, automatically every and any ex-Scientology member, right, someone who leaves the cult, is automatically a good person. Well, clearly that's just not true. Also, clearly those that left the cult will be or should be helpful to stopping Scientology. Also, not logically true. So, a lot of these are people are victims and survivors, but we confront the also fact that a lot of them are also criminals and stupid people. And Aaron is full of criminality and stupidity. Join us one. It's you too. I say allegedly. Right. In my humble opinion, that is what Aaron does. But I don't know the man personally, so I can only go through what I'm getting from other people. But I believe those people, and I don't believe Aaron, so we're kind of stuck. But something does stick out to me, like so much over just studying the ex-Scientology people, and again, not all of them, but the vast majority of them, is how criminality is so embedded in who they are. It's like just that's just normal for them to be liars, frauds, con artists, just constantly selling. And what they're selling is just a bunch of fictions. And also the fictions themselves are frankly kind of stupid. They're just very boring. These are not great storytelling people. This is not like, wow, these stories are really like, wow, they're really profound. It's like, no, it's mainly a bunch of whiny people whining about the most minor things. So Scientology is a very evil fascist cult. But again, you have to face reality. A lot of people that leave, they're still very evil. And it's just a fallacy to think, well, that's the cult. No, it's an interesting question in terms of statistics and measuring things, I guess, that was how evil were they before they joined the cult, and how evil are they when they leave the cult? I mean, that's a deep question. And clearly some people were generally ruined by Scientology and became a lot worse. But you have to be honest and face the fact, apparently a lot of them were already evil. Scientology made them more evil, but it just seems the baseline with these people is, it's just a bunch of horrible, evil people. But I guess, again, we were just pretending for about, I guess, a whole decade or so, because things have just gotten more and more corrupt. And listen, this was always going to be there, of course, right? These, who's going to be perfect in any social movement or whatever? But still, it is alarming how corrupt the whole thing has gone. And Aaron, of course, is one of the worst, but it's a more symbolic thing. What's going on with him and Jenna is that this is just a sign of that the ex Scientology people just have created this whole weird network and racket. And at the heart of it, I think that's really what alarms Jenna, because if she's not with Aaron, she's going to have to face up to that alone. And she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to take any tough questions. She doesn't want to take any responsibility. Right. So it's a lot of these ex Scientologists are facing that weird critical choice of whether they want to face up to their responsibilities, and they're like, no, I'm gonna stay in this weird secret corrupt network. And even now that's been exposed, now that we're aware of it, we're in this weird la la land where it's like, yeah, just forget, just allow yourself to be hypnotized by the Church of Uranus. And now Jenna Miscavige, the new cult leader in the Church of Uranus, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. So with Scientology, that's an evil brainwashing cult, right? But the Church of Uranus is a good brainwashing cult, correct? And that's where we are, because I can't even go through what they said because it's all gobbledygook. It just didn't say anything. So say, you're healing. Yes, Jenna, I'm healing. You're healing too. Therapy don't work. Yeah, therapy don't work. Blah 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 blah. I'm about to do some fake crying. Oh, Aaron, you're about to do fake crying. Yes, I'm about to do fake crying. And on and on and on and on we go. And on and on and on we go. Listen, and I don't like Nora. I'm not a fan of Nora. But really, like, this one section in particular, really, and again, I don't really care anymore. It didn't get me angry. It just got me like, are you seriously trying to sell this lie? You know, why we're doing this is to take the power back. Yes, we're taking power back from those evil, hateful people. Yes, now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? And it's like, well, I think at the bare minimum, and again, because Aaron has already done this, broken the terms of services. Well, yeah, that probably is one of the minor things is that just get rid of your YouTube channel because it's completely worthless. And really just alert a lot of these other platforms of just how pathological and just how crazy the things you put out. And a lot of them are just lies. It's like, this is not even like bare good activism. This is like worthless. The information is not good. The knowledge is not solid. So it's like, what's the one good thing you can say about Aaron? Well, he at least exposed some abuses of Scientology and rare cases, yes. But you go through some of those videos carefully, he doesn't even do that because, like, well, this isn't correct. This is not accurate. This did not even happen. A lot of this is just rumors or, guys, my sources have told me Emily Armstrong is this, Emily Armstrong is that. My sources tell me this, my sources tell me that. That's all well and nice. Okay, but since you're lying all the time, what are we going to do with it? I'm going to go nowhere. In fact, where has it gone? How many people has Aaron put in jail? Like, how many people that he allegedly exposed, how many of them are going to go to jail now? How many in the last 1 or 2 years? Just can't even say Danny Masterson. That had nothing to do with Aaron. That was way before Aaron. Like, the Danny Masterson trials were even in the 2010s. Aaron wasn't helping out with those cases. Claire Headley was, but not him. So, yeah, you're kind of wondering to yourself, it's like, what exactly does Aaron do? And the answer is, well, Aaron just does Aaron. That's the real goal of the channel. And apparently, Jenna thinks the Aaron Corporation is worth selling out to. Well, good on her. Sell out. Well, why should I like you, support you, care about you? I don't know. I guess selling out to the Aaron Corporation is just good. That's what good people do. The really good moral people sell out to Aaron, right? There you go. But the really bad, hateful people sell it to the Nor Corporation. Well, I think all these corporations are very questionable. The Nor Corporation, questionable. The Jenna Corporation, questionable. And the Aaron Corporation, very questionable. And that we should just be getting rid of all those corporations because they're mostly toxic, pathological, bad organizations. But it's really hilarious that they're selling themselves. These are the organizations that are going to help take down Scientology. It's like, well, it seems pretty obviously they're just creating new cults that are also harming and victimizing people. So it's like, no, no. But listen, a very small channel. I can't just magically snap my fingers and like, hey, here's the brand new organization that's going to be a better form of anti-Scientology. The two are separate. There's anti-Scientology and there's whatever Aaron is doing, which is not anti-Scientology. But the two have now a very weird, corrupt overlap. It's going to take a while to separate the very corrupt part. It's not anti-Scientology, but listen, a lot of anti-Scientology activists did sell out. They either tolerated or helped Aaron because he's got a big channel, he has a little bit of money, and it is what it is. So it's going to take a while for this corruption to be exposed and be whatever exiled or separated, and it's going to take a while. And I guess in the interim, we're just going to be inundated with this weird, fake, not therapy talk. It's just Aaron Jenna double 1984 Orwellian speech about healing and togethers and Nora bad and Aaron and Jenna goods and whatever garbage. So I'm not really interested in propaganda garbage, but if that's your thing, I guess that was a good conversation. But I'm not interested in that propaganda garbage. So to me, it was not a good conversation. And I guess that's where I am.